Yes, sir.
So, good morning, students. So, we will be discussing about the IP addresses, and we started this discussion in the previous class. I hope you remember. So, what are the two ways of representing the IPv4 addresses? If you can remember, we have discussed like there are two ways in which we can represent the IP addresses. That is, one is the binary notation, and another one is the dotted decimal notation, or it can be also called as decimal dotted notation. So these, like what is the length of the IP addresses? We have discussed in the header format. The IP address length is of 32 bits. So when you're representing in terms of binary notation, it will be a group of 4 bytes, or we can say 4 octets we can have, like 1010 and so on. So similar to that, when you're representing with that, but whenever you're representing either with the binary notation or with the decimal notation, there should be some dot. Yes, any doubts there?
Sir, your voice is breaking. It's not clear.
Is this problem with everyone? So there will be a dot that has to be dot will separate these octets. And next, followed by that, we have discussed the decimal or dotted decimal notation. So in this case, it will be like in this format 170.16.254.1 and so on. So now we will understand what are the categories of IP addresses. So how we are going to separate them. Like when we say that it can be represented with binary, and if you take this number, okay, so what is the maximum value we can have? See, it is 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1 and so on. So if you go on doing this, the maximum possible value is 255. So if all are ones, like here we have 8 bits, that is 190, 190 and so on. So if you all the bits are set to 1, what will be the value? The value will be 255. That means for every combination we can have, or for every octet we can have 255, or in fact 256 combinations. It will start with 0 to 255. That means here we have 8 octets. This particular thing can take a value from 0 to 255. This second octet can take 0 to 255. Third can also take 0 to 255. Fourth can also take 0 to 255. So that means overall we can have millions of combinations for the IP addresses. But there is some category to identify or the classification of IP addresses can be done by using this concept. That is, we have something called as the net ID and host ID. I hope I had given the example. Can you recollect that example of hierarchy? So when I am communicating or when I want to send a letter, I will specify the hierarchy where I stay. I stay in India, then I belong to Karnataka, then Belgaum, near Tilakwadi, and so on and so forth. So similar to that, when we have these IP addresses, there are two things can be observed in the IP address in 32 bits. One is the net ID and another one is the host ID. So how these net ID and host ID will define? So net ID is like common one, okay, and the host ID is the information or the number for an individual or a specific host, we can say, or for a specific device. And we need to remember that IP addresses are always unique when you are connected to the internet, or they are universally unique, we can say. So going ahead with this, in some cases we can have 3 bytes of net ID and 1 byte of host ID. In some other cases we can have 2 bytes of net ID and 2 bytes of host ID, or you can consider in terms of bits. So how they are classified? So they are classified into 5 groups. So we call it as the classful addressing. So in classful addressing, the address space is divided into 5 classes, namely from A, B, C, D, E. So if the address is given in binary notation, then the first few bits will indicate the class of the address. So if I have some random IP address, how to identify it belongs to which particular category or which particular class, whether it is A, B, or C. So that will be depending on the starting bits. Or if you are considering in terms of bytes, so if the address is given in decimal dotted notation, then the first byte will indicate the class of the address. So based on if you are representing in binary, the first few bits will indicate or it will define the class of the address. If we are using the decimal dotted notation, then the first byte will indicate the class of the address. Are you all following that, everyone? So now,
Yes,
this
sir.
you need to observe classful addressing. So as we know that it is 32 bits, or we can consider it as 4 bytes. Yes or no? Everyone agrees with this? Yes, I want a response from your side.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
But I have the stable internet here. My internet is good. So in this case, we have first byte, second byte, third byte, and fourth byte. So when we say class A, and if you are representing in binary notation, so the first bit, if it is set to 0, then we can consider it as class A. So in this case, you can observe that if our IP address we have, and if you want to know whether it belongs to class A or B, depending on this particular values, we can identify it. So if a IP address belongs to say class C, then the starting few bits will be 110. And if it belongs to say 10, starting 2 bits are 10, then it belongs to class B. The same similarity we can observe in the dotted decimal notation. So if the first byte is from 0 to 127, okay, in this case, then here we have this belongs to the class A. So in this, what we were discussing is the net ID and host ID. So what you can observe from this, if our IP address belongs to class A, then the first byte will represent the net ID and the remaining 3 bytes will represent the host ID. Similarly, in class B, the first 2 bytes, or we can say first 16 bits represents the host net ID, and the remaining 16 bits will represent the host ID. Are you all getting it? So these are the different classes that we can have in the IP addresses. For how many of you are facing this issue of voice breaking?
So most of them.
But from my side, again, the strength is good here.
So means it in between it is going.
Yeah, I know, but just try to adjust for the things I cannot help because already I have connected. So similarly, in class C, 3 bytes will indicate the net ID and 1 byte will represent the host ID. So to give an example, consider that the previous one, the example that we took. Okay. So here we took the example. So what is the starting thing? That is 172. So if it is 172, can you tell me which class it belongs to? It belongs to class C. Why it belongs to class C? Why it belongs to class B? Why? Because it is in this range. So 128 to 191. If that is the case, then it belongs to class B. For example, consider that for our college, just consider that in our college we have this IP address 192.168.0.1. Okay, so in this, if it is 192, okay, So it means this IP address belongs to which category? It belongs to which category? It belongs to class C. So most of the organizations or most of the companies prefer using this class C. Are you all getting it, everyone? And you can observe that every byte, whether it is first byte or second byte and so on, they can take the value from 0 to 255. That means for every particular field, we can have 255 combinations. This first byte can take a combination from 0 to 255. Second can take from 0 to 255 and so on. So like that, if you can imagine, we can have millions of combinations of IP addresses, and these IP addresses can be assigned to the computer systems or any other routers also. And in this class D, it is from 224 to 239, and for class C, 240 to 255. Usually we prefer using this class C, 192 to 223. Are you all getting it, everyone? Anybody has any doubts here?
sir.
Yes.
So why class C?
Yes, can you tell me? I mean, can you repeat? I mean, it all depends on the network. Why class C, right? Okay. So in the what you can say, basically it depends on the internet service providers. Okay, one thing, that is whether it's your Airtel connection, BSNL, and so on. Apart from that, also like European countries, American countries, everyone has their own starting prefixes. But in Indian companies or in our locality, we prefer using this class C, that is 192 to 223. This type of category we use in our locality. So most of the organizations or in our college as well, we prefer using them. There are some other special treatments also given for that, that I will search and I will let you know why particularly for this. But most of the organizations in maybe in Karnataka or within India, they prefer using this. So there are some special meanings that have been designed by the internet architectures or the network designers. So they prefer using this in this case. But when we consider about European countries or US and so on, they prefer using this class A or class B. So it all depends on the country and your locality as well. So this is the brief information I have given, but in detail information also I will give in the next class. So based on the IP address, we can categorize or you can decide which class it belongs to. Is this your question clear?
Yes, sir.
Anybody has any doubts? So now, what I was telling is we have 4 fields here, right? First byte, I will just second byte, third byte, and then fourth byte. So, or we can consider it as octets. Every field can take 0 to 255. This particular first field. Similarly, second can also take the value from 0 to 255. Similarly, third can take also from 0 to 255. And also fourth can take also the values from 0 to 255. So these many combinations of IP addresses we can have. So for example, for my particular organization, say Gupta College of Commerce, I will have this network ID as fixed one, that is 192.168. For example, I will just show you that 192.168.0. Okay, if I take this as common 0 dot, then here how many combinations can I have? I can have 255, I mean 256 combinations. So this is fixed. For class C, this is fixed. Okay, so as you said, like why we use class C. So in class C, how many bytes will define it? So the first three will be fixed one. First byte, second byte, and third byte are fixed. And we can have 255 or 256 combinations here. So that they prefer using this because our organization, like whether you consider Gupta College or say RLS College or any organizations in Karnataka or in Belgaum locality, if you consider, we will not have more than 255 connections or more than 300 computers. We will never use it. In our college also, how many we have? A maximum we have 250 or say 200 computers, not more than that. So since our organization is having that much capacity, we prefer using it. Okay, or even if that is there, even if more than 300 computers we have, what we can do, we can have 192.168.0. First computer will be this 192.168.0.1. What will my second computer? It will have like this 192.168.0.2. Similarly, 192.168.0.3 and so on. And the last one we can have is 192.168.0.255. How many computers we have used now? We have used 256 computers we have used. And what is common in that? This part is common. Only this part is changing. Can you observe it? Yes. Are you getting it, everyone? So this what we call, this we call it as the net ID. And what this we call it as the host ID. Are you all following it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now suppose say that in future after 3 years in our college, if we have say 500 computers, then what we have to do? So no, don't shift from class B, class C to class B. We can use like this 192.168. Instead of 0 here, we'll have 1. And then followed by that, we'll have 0. So this we will fix and only this we will change. Are you getting it? Again, we can have 192.168.1.1. Okay, then next one will be 192.168.1.2 and so on and so forth. So for every combination, that is what I'm telling you. This can take from 0 to 255 and we will keep 0, 192.168, 0 dot constant and from 1 to 255. And then what we will do, we will keep this constant 192.168, 1 constant and then from 0 to 255. Then after again say we are exhausted with say 700 computers. What we will do? We will do 192 like this 192.168.2. The series starts 0. Next will be 2.1. Next series will be 2.2 and so on. Like this, we can have lakhs of combination by just choosing the class C. Are we clear with this doubt? A very good question. She asked why we prefer using class C because of this only. Yes, any doubts here? Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Next thing that we need to understand is about the concept of subnets. So here it is subnet, or we can consider in a more better way, it is subnetting. Okay. The subnet that we have discussed that, and this is little different. Okay. In that case, we discussed about subnet. Subnet is nothing but collection of different routers and computers connected by communication lines. That we call it as a subnet or a part of a network. But here we are discussing something about subnetting. Okay, like when we say that we have an organization, and in the organization, okay, consider that this is a one college. in that college, we have different departments, electronic and electricals, computer science, arts, commerce, like this and so on. And all they are connected to, say, these routers. And there is only one end router which is connecting to the internet. Like in our college also, we have BCA department, BCom department, BBA department, MCom department, and so on. So for every that, we have the Ethernet connection and we have a router within our department. But at our server room, okay, at the end point, we have another router, okay, which is actually connected to the internet. So routing by prefixes requires all the hosts in a network to have the same network number. So having these network numbers is not possible always. When the number of computers grows or the number of departments grows, it is not possible to have the same prefixes every time. For that purpose, we use this concept of the subnetting. So what is subnetting basically is, if you can observe this, it will be easy for you. So consider that this is my IP address, that is 192.168.0.136. And here I have something called as subnet mask, 255.255.240.0. Better we can consider it as 255.255.255.0. Most of the time it will be like 255.255.255.0. Okay, default gateway and other things you leave it. Just consider it as subnet mask. Like I said, then example, okay, consider that there is a letter, okay, to a particular faculty, say Professor Vaibhav from some organization, and there it will reach. It will reach to our main office, the KLS office. When you enter our college gate, there is an office at the right side. Have you seen that? KLS office. Okay, so the letter will come to KLS office. Then it has to be, that letter has to be segregated, whether it belongs to the BCA department, BBA department, MCom department, and so on, and then to which respective faculty. Similarly, when the packets arrive, okay, at the main router, like for example, some packet arrive at our main server, the router that is present at the server room. So from that, it will go to the respective subrouters, and then it will reach the particular machine or to the particular device which has that IP addresses. So this concept we call it as the subnetting. Having identifying all by the prefixes becomes a big problem. So the solution is to allow the block of addresses to be split into several parts. So we take a block of address and we will split it out. So how to split it? Consider that for this router, we have the IP address that is 128.208.0.0. And there is another type of notation that we can call it as /16 or slash notation we use. This means that the starting 16 bits are common. What is the meaning of this? 128.208.0.0 /16 they are telling. This means that the starting 16 bits are common and the remaining bits can change. Okay, so this means that how many addresses we can have as seen from the outside world. Okay, from the outside world, how it will look like this: 128 equivalent in binary is this, and 208 equivalent is this, and 0.0. So like this. Are we getting it, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So that means whenever we want to send a packet to a particular device, so like I said, that example of that particular letter has to reach Professor Vaibhav, but it will not have the same address. What it will do? It will, the letter will be sent to the main office. From the main office, it will come to the BCA department. From BCA department, it will reach the particular system or like particular professor. Similarly, when the packets are transmitted, to know the exact address of a system, so IP addresses will be unique for every device. So what they will do, it depends on the subnet mask, okay, or based on the subnet address, it will be transmitted. So when a packet arrives at this, it will be distributed to the respective department's routers. From there, it will be reached to the respective computers. Okay. And so starting 16 bits are common means what? The remaining 16 bits, total length of IP address is how much? 32. Yes or no? Can you all tell? Can you all remember? What is the total length of the IP addresses? What is the length of the IP addresses? How many bits? 32, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Out of that, what they are representing here is 16, 0/16. That means initial 16 bits are same. So here we have shown that initial 16 bits are same here. Can you observe this everywhere? Can you observe in this computer science, electrical department, engineering, arts departments, everywhere, the starting 16 bits are same and the remaining are different or they can be changed. So for every department, like usually what happens is, initially we assume that we had only electrical department, and later after a few years, CS department will also start, and later arts department will also start. So having a separate IP address for the routers is not possible. I mean, having a for every department to have a separate this type of address by using the prefixes is not possible. So what they will do initially, they have said that 128.208.0.0, and in that, if the department grows, they can further categorize it. So for CS department, what they will do? They will do it as 0.17. For say arts department, 0.19, and for say electrical department, 0.18. So this means that say any system that belongs to CS department, what should be its IP address? Its IP address should be like this: 128.208.128. And if any IP address belongs to arts department, so its IP address should be 128.208.96 and so on. So here /17 indicates what? The starting 17 bits are common, and here arts department starting 19 bits are common. For electrical department, starting 18 bits are common, like that it is. And it will do some AND operation among that, and based on that calculation, it will send it to the respective system. You need to understand a little paragraph that is there. No need to remember all this. In the examination, they will ask just what is the meaning of the subnetting. Okay, you just need to write the paragraph. That's it. Okay. Are you all understanding it? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
So like this I told. So suppose say that there is a packet. Okay. So for example, understand that we have a IP address 128.208.2.151. Okay, this is my IP address. I don't know where it belongs to. It can belong to electrical department. It can also belong to CS department. It can also belong to arts department and so on. So a packet is arrived at this destination. This is the destination address. So what this router will do? So this router has to decide whether that packet has to be sent to this CS department or electrical department or arts department. For that, what it will do? It will do something called as AND operation. So that means it will take this as the subnet mask, that is 255.255.128.0. Here I have represented this, whatever I have this 128.208.2.151, I'm representing this with the binary notation. Okay, and this also I have represented with the binary notation, and it will do this AND operation. So 1 and 1, what is the result? 1. I mean, true and true, it is true. 0 and 1, it is 0. 0 and 1, it is 0, and so on. Similarly, here also 1 and 1, 1. 1 and 1, it is 1. Okay, 0 and 1, it is 0. So like that, it will do this AND operation, and it will check with the prefix. So for this, it will check the starting 18 bits. And what is the starting 18 bits? It is getting the result as 128.208.0.0. So this is common. What is common? 128.208.0.0. This means what? It belongs to which particular department? It belongs to the E&D department. So if a IP address, or if a packet comes to this particular IP address, say 128.208.2.151, you can give the attendance, everyone. So when a packet arrives with, in this case, if a packet arrives with this as the destination address, what this subnet will do, it will do the AND operation like this, 255, 255, 255.128.0 with that. And then whatever result it gets, if the prefix matches, whatever the prefix matches, it will send it to that particular department. Are we clear with this concept, everyone? Anybody has any doubts here? What all we have discussed? We discussed the classful addressing, binary notation, decimal dotted notations, and what are the different types of classes we have A, B, C, D, E, and how we can represent them with binary and dotted decimal notation. And then we discussed about something called as the subnetting. Okay. Subnetting in the sense, routing by prefixes is requires all the hosts in a network to have the same network number. But this property is not possible, or it cannot be possible always as the number of systems grows or the network grows. So the possibility is to what? A block of addresses can be split into several parts for the internal use as the multiple networks. That means within the organization, we can have different departments, but for the outsiders, it will look like only one thing. Okay, like in our organization, we have different departments, but for the others, it will like only one department, and further it will be splitted out. So that will be depending on the subnet mask. You can do this. For internal use as multiple networks, while still acting like a single network. So it can act like a single network to the outside world. For the outside world, only this router appears, which is actually connected to the internet. But within the organization, we can have further separate categories as well. And this concept we called as the subnetting, and the networks that result from dividing up a larger network are called as the subnets. Are we clear with this concept, everyone? Anybody has any doubts?
No, sir.
Next class, we can try out how to set this IP address. There are two possibilities. Dynamically, we can have, or we can have static IP addresses. So this is what static IP address that we are using. Like in this case, I want somebody to explore these things. What is default gateway? What is the preferred DNS server and other things? It is very helpful. I want somebody can you give a PPT presentation on this. Very interesting topic it is. About default gateways and all other things. Just try searching these things. Yes. Is this clear how a packet will reach the destination, particular destination? You can just observe that originally we had only this 128.208.0.0/16. That is starting 16 bits are common. But again, if it grows, like earlier we had only one department, and later on electrical, CS and arts and so on. So when it grows, we can further classify it. The remaining out of this 16, we can have like 0.18. So starting 18 bits will be common. Here starting 17 bits will be common, starting 19 bits will be common, and so on. Like that, we can have sub further categories within the organization. But for the outside organization, only the packet will arrive at this router, and this router will decide whether the packet has to be sent to electrical department, CS departments, or arts department, and so on, by using this AND operation between the destination address and the subnet mask. So this will be actually converted into binary, and it will do the AND operation, and then it will match the prefix. So whatever the prefix it matches, here it matches the 128.208.0.0. So the packet will be sent to the electrical department. So that means this particular IP address, that is 128.208.2.151, it belongs to electrical and electrical department, E&D department. So like that, it will identify and it will send the packet to the respective destination machine. Does anybody has any doubts? Any queries here? Yes.